This is but a taste of the dark side.
С нами Бог. Remember, no Russian.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Villains in video games play a crucial role in the fine dining gaming experience. So when your console wasn't saying, "Hey kid, suck me," but when your console worked, you were then able to play against some of the greatest villains in all of gaming. For me, the first to do so was Halo. In 2001, my buddy had just gotten an Xbox. Through boyhood spit that's beyond science, I don't know how, but once he got that first Xbox in the cul-de-sac, we all know. And then your buddy, I don't know, let's just call him Dalton Ludovici, invites you over. It's almost as if he's standing outside my window. What am I, in a John Hughes film? Am I about to kiss my friend over an Xbox? What the? Holding up his Xbox saying, "Hey kid, I got Halo. Come play with me and my dad." Bitch. I definitely did some anime running as I ran over across the street. I don't think I've ever moved faster in my life. Anime charts blew it off the wall. His doors blew him off the hinges. I was ready to play some Xbox. What makes a good villain is a question that can be answered in many different ways, and video games have many different responses to that question. I believe Halo was able to encapsulate these three specific categories that I came up with. These categories are the progression parents, the scary stepdads, and the Dr. Evils. I believe these three categories that can result in creating some of the most well-rounded and best developed villains in gaming. Now obviously this is just going off of my interpretation, but I feel like the categories are broad enough that it can apply to most other villains in gaming as well. The progression parents are the villains in video games that I like to think of as sharing and embodying traits with Full House style learning. You have your Bob Saget's, your John Stamos', and your Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's that are essentially just disguised as video game villains that are teaching us life lessons along the way. Because at the end of the day, villains in video games are almost like our parents, and to a certain degree for me they were. They are the antagonists in our story, and without the player's knowledge, they are also protagonists. They are helping us, they are guiding us through our journey, and helping us learn something about ourselves along the way. So that's why I've broken this up into two categories. You have the developmental daddies and your motive mommies. Now, both will teach and guide the player along the way, but they take fundamentally different routes to do so. Obviously, there are a ton of development daddies that I can talk about, but I'm gonna share the ones that affected me the most. Now, I'm putting the development daddy spotlight on Pyramid Head, simply because I think that Pyramid Head embodies everything that a good development daddy villain needs and should strive to be. When you combine the visually unnerving appearance in an already terrifying setting with the mystery of Pyramid Head and his deeper psychological meaning, as the game unravels, his role in the story is crucial, in a way honestly so brilliant that only the beautifully twisted minds of Team Silent could do so at the time. In the town of Silent Hill, which itself is a representation of purgatory that manifests and gives form to people's innermost thoughts and fears, Pyramid Head is then incarnated from the part of the player character's subconscious that cries for punishment. The beauty of this is that Silent Hill puts emphasis on what Pyramid Head is not rather than what he is, which for the player leaves a lot of mystery to the character that's beautiful yet terrifying. So although highly unorthodox, Pyramid Head makes the player overcome many physical and psychological struggles, in the end, teaching you life lessons along the way, much like a father. So instead of wearing jean shorts and New Balance shoes, he's just a terrifying subconscious nightmare teaching you dad lessons along the way. Like the old saying goes, behind every good development daddy, there was a motive mommy. These motive mommies are some of the best that I could come up with off the top of my head, but the main motive mommy that I wanted to give the Oscar to was Crea from Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
I have replayed this game so many times throughout my years simply for this character. Each replay, I've gained a new understanding and I've found deeper complexity to the character to this day. I, along with many others, attribute the success of Crea's purpose and writing to Chris Avellone. His writing has taken Star Wars to a completely different level, questioning the Force, the light side, the dark side, and blurring the lines between the two, really making the player think about their actions and their overall echoes on the universe. This is best exemplified in one scene where Crea offers you a strength and vitality boost.
If you accept it, you will find your strength increase and your vitality return to you faster with every breath.
Out of your 4 response options, 3 of them are to accept the stat buff blindly. Strangely, there is one other unique option that allows you to deny it. If you deny her offer, it prompts you with the choice again, asking if you really wish to deny this power.
Are you sure? It will grant you strength, vitality for the times ahead. Forsake it, deny it, and you will deny power.
Once again, if you choose to reject this offer to power, you are then praised by Crea, as this is the overarching lesson.
At last. You have made a strange choice, a unique choice.
Crea is reinforcing the premise that because you have turned away from power, that is the true lesson of strength, and that the only power you need is yourself.
And know that that is the true lesson of strength, to turn away from strength that is not your own.
Strangely enough, there is some solid life advice in that lesson, and I think that perfectly exemplifies what makes a great motive mommy in a video game, which is really the main goal of all mommies everywhere. #mommies matter.
I'm always testing you, never forget that. Always be on your guard, otherwise you may learn something.
Much like an abusive stepfather,
I won't allow it!
the scary stepdaddies represent the tone, atmosphere, and environment that are all necessary for an excellent step villain in gaming. While the scary stepdaddies are not the main antagonist in the story, they still represent enough of a threat that they could beat you at the dinner table if you're not careful.
No, don't do it!
Some of my most notable scary stepdads are the Flood, Anything and Everything in Left 4 Dead,
Hello? Hello?
but specifically the witches. And the necromorphs in Dead Space. All of these villains were able to capture and create a terrifying tone, environment, and atmosphere, with just enough mystery to keep you pressing forward. The best way I can recreate that feeling is the first time I played the Halo level 343 Guilty Spark.
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What's that? Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an accident, friendly fire or something?
From the beginning of the level, it created an atmosphere so different from the rest of the game that you could almost feel the further you went into the level, something was seriously wrong.
Evil?
Evil, actually. Dr. Evil.
Topping off our triumvirate of evil, we have our doctors of
Evil?
No, don't do it!
Most doctor villains are simple villains. And by simple, I mean they are bad to be bad. They are your nemesis just because. And you know that when they capture you,
I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
Why don't you just shoot him now?
One more peep out of you and you are grounded, mister, and I am not joking.
there's honestly not too much to say about these doctors. They have their MD in shits and giggles, because what these doctors may lack in depth and development, they trade in for fun and wholesomeness.
Can I get you something?
Yeah, do you have the Beatles' White Album? Never mind, just get me a glass of hot fat. And bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia while you're out there.
So even though they may appear to lack compared to other villains, these Doctors of Evil are some of the most recognizable villains to this day. So despite their simplicity, All they really do is simply provide a bad guy for the player to outsmart, to outdo, and overcome. And that's all you need to be a great villain.
Bye, have a great time.